What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to give you guys a very quick update on what's happening to the overall market and talk about some very important levels. But let me first say that I'm not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And then don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Put in $1,000 and you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening to the market so far. I want to just go over some levels real quick. For SPY is showing some weakness as this thing is starting to turn right over here. It's retesting its resistance at 516.5. We're going to be watching to see if we get a rejection near that range or not. If we reject off here and start sinking back down lower, there is going to be a risk of us coming back down to the low of the day. Our critical support is also going to be at the 200 EMA on the 5 minutes time frame. If we end up losing this 515.98 area, very close to 516, this thing is going to start sinking much lower into the 515.5 area or even below that. I just want to give you guys a warning about that if we lose 515.98. We also have resistance at the 50 EMA, 516.68. As of right now, we're kind of stuck within this range. But I do want to note SPY is starting to downtrend just a bit. It's showing some weakness, so there's a risk of this thing coming down to the 515s. There is a risk of that, but it may take quite some time because SPY is still range bound. So watch the range just to be safe. We'll see if SPY does end up dropping or not, and watch it as confirmation. For Tesla, we're not looking too good because Tesla is getting hit with lots of bad news. It was downgraded by Wells Fargo, and we're seeing a lot of news headlines screaming Tesla's been downgraded, Tesla's dropping. They're getting all the clicks by saying that, and that's leading to a lot of fear and downside for Tesla. So for Tesla, we just lost 172. We're approaching this support right over here. We're basically around this 170 range. That's going to be our support. If we lose this, 168 is coming next. For resistance, watch 172. If it gets back above that, 173.75 is coming. Overall, the chart looks bearish. It's continuing to sink, so be careful on Tesla. It could sink lower. It's not looking that great, and the bad news is still getting the best of it. On the QQQ, just like SPY. So this thing basically dropped from 444, losing 442 and coming down to our 440 target. You guys can see how well it's holding these levels, right? But here's the thing. Basically, we're now shuffling at 440. We have some resistance at 441 and 442. If we lose 440, there's going to be a risk of us not just sinking back down to like 439.5, but we can actually go even lower to 438 in my opinion. But we have to lose 440 and maybe remain below it for like an hour or so. So there is still some risk on the QQQ, but it's kind of shuffling in the 440 area, at least for the time being. So we're going to be watching to see how well it holds. What else is dictating the QQQ? I just wanted to call out is NVIDIA. So the QQQ is showing some weakness. There is a risk of some more downside. For NVIDIA, we're going to be watching this resistance right over here. It's basically trying to get back closer to this 900 area. It's not quite there, but it's close. And that's going to be a tight resistance. If we get back above 900, there is potential for 908. If we reject near 900, we're going to be sinking back down to 885. And if we lose that, a bigger drop could be coming all the way down towards the imbalance at 877 and then 872. So overall, this is sinking. It's looking kind of weak. If we establish a lower high, we could continue to sink lower. There is this imbalance down here, so I do favor bears somewhat more on NVIDIA. It is trying to rebound temporarily, but we'll see if this thing ends up failing. So just be careful, especially as we get closer to 900. We have some tight resistance, and we'll see how NVIDIA does up here. So watch this 900 resistance, and also watch 908, see how well NVIDIA tries to hold and break above those levels. And we'll see if we get a rejection or not, but just be careful on it. What else is kind of dragging the market down somewhat is Aapl. Aapl is still looking relatively weak, so it came down to our support at 170.9. You guys can see how it's trying to hold that area. We have this resistance up here at 171.6. We also have 172.5. Now we're going to be watching to see how it reacts to those resistance levels, and around 170.9, if we lose that, there could be a bigger drop coming to 170 flat. So overall, I would say that this is looking a bit more it's looking kind of bearish, but there are buyers trying to defend 170 flat. So we'll see how well it ends up holding the 170 area. For us to turn really bearish, we have to lose 170, and otherwise we're just going to see some buyers defend it. And for us to turn bullish, I want to see it try to get back not just above 172, but also 174. The chart is weak. It's showing weakness, but it's still within this range. So we'll see how Aapl does. It could sink back down lower. So it's not, excuse me, it's not looking the best thus far. On top of this, SPY is still range bound. We'll see how that does. Tesla's still looking weak, guys. It's barely holding 170. Let's talk about a couple more. Rivian selling off, like we were talking about yesterday, was looking kind of weak. Rivian does have risks of dropping even lower after we got some negative news for the EV sector. And we're going to be watching this thing approach 11.75 very, very soon if we end up losing this 12 support. SoFi is also showing a little bit of weakness. It's kind of contracting a bit, but it's trading sideways in this 7.5 area. Supermicro came up as we predicted. We were talking about this thing yesterday, approaching this 1200 area. Now that we're very, very close to that, we could push a little bit more to about this 1200 to try to get to this imbalance. But be careful once we get closer to that. The closer we get to that, the weaker this could get because of the resistance. So look for a little bit more upside, but then watch and see how it reacts to the resistance up there. So be a little bit careful. For a few more, we also have, let's just see what else is there. Microsoft is turning back down. It was trying to reach our targets of almost 420. It actually got to 419. Now it's starting to reject a bit, showing some weakness. We have critical support at 414, also 410. We'll see how well it holds there. If it loses 414, watch 410. It is turning, so be careful. Amazon, it's still holding up nicely. It's actually showing more strength than many other tickers out there. But we'll have to see how well it kind of holds up. If anything on the charts, it's very important to watch support and resistance. And I just want to make that as clear as possible. I might be having a Wi-Fi issue right now. I'll actually come back to you guys later for this. But for now, guys, that is it for the video. Thank you all for listening. I might have to stop it from here. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys very soon in just a couple of hours. Anyways, take care and peace out.